Most people believe their reactions are automatic, unavoidable, and harmless. They are wrong. Every reaction trains the mind to surrender control, to hand authority to whatever provoked it. Anger, defensiveness, impatience, even excitement. These are not responses to life, but confessions of inner disorder. Long before psychology described emotional regulation, Japanese warriors treated reaction as a fatal weakness. In ancient Japan, the most dangerous opponent was not the enemy in front of you, but the disturbance within you. Miyamoto Musashi wrote that the mind should be neither tense nor lax, neither fixed nor distracted. This state was called mushin, the mind without reaction. It was not emptiness, but readiness without interference. To the samurai, the one who reacted first had already lost. Chapter 1. The Invisible Loss. Haruto lived an ordinary modern life, efficient and outwardly composed. Yet beneath that surface, his days were shaped by constant micro-reactions. A careless comment unsettled him for hours. Praise made him careless. Criticism tightened his chest. He told himself this was normal, that everyone lived this way. Still, each night he felt quietly exhausted, as if he had been defending something all day without knowing what. One evening, Haruto encountered a passage attributed to Musashi, describing how a warrior must not be influenced by emotions, whether favorable or hostile. The words were unsettling, not because they were harsh, but because they were precise. He realized how often his mood was decided by forces outside his control. His fatigue was not from effort, but from surrendering authority again and again. Chapter 2. Reaction as Dependence. Zen teaching does not condemn emotion. It condemns enslavement to it. When the mind reacts immediately, it becomes dependent on external events to determine its state. The samurai understood this clearly. If an insult could provoke you, then your enemy did not need a blade. Reaction was leverage given away freely. Haruto began to observe his reactions without trying to stop them. He noticed how quickly his body responded before his mind had chosen anything. Shoulders tightening, breath shortening, thoughts rushing to defense or explanation. None of this was deliberate. It was habit. And habits, he realized, could be trained or untrained. Chapter 3. The Warrior's Pause. In Bushido, restraint was not politeness but discipline. A warrior learned to insert a pause between stimulus and action. That pause was where freedom lived. Musashi advised seeing things as they are, not as one wishes them to be, and acting without distortion. This required stillness before movement. Haruto chose a single, non-negotiable rule. He would not respond immediately when provoked. Not externally and not internally. When irritation appeared, he delayed judgment. When offense arose, he withheld narrative. At first, this felt unnatural, almost like weakness. But slowly the pause grew longer, and within it, clarity appeared. Chapter 4. Silence as Training. Silence was not absence. It was practice. Zen monasteries trained monks to sit through discomfort without naming it, correcting it, or escaping it. The samurai adopted this discipline not for peace, but for control. Silence deprived emotion of reinforcement. What was not fed began to weaken. Haruto stopped explaining himself unnecessarily. He stopped rehearsing arguments that might never occur. When something bothered him, he did not immediately seek relief through distraction or expression. This restraint felt uncomfortable, but it was clean discomfort, without resentment. Over time, silence became a shield rather than a burden. Chapter 5. Identity without reaction. The Dokodo warns against dependence on approval, pleasure, or emotional comfort. Musashi understood that identity built on reaction is fragile. If you need recognition to feel whole, you are always at risk. The warrior aimed to become unprovocable, not indifferent, but grounded. Haruto noticed how much of his self-image depended on how others perceived him. Each reaction was an attempt to protect that image. When he stopped reacting, the image weakened, but something more stable took its place. He began to act according to principle rather than impulse. The need to defend himself slowly dissolved. Chapter 6. The Body Learns. First, the samurai trained reaction out of the body before the mind could follow. Breathing, posture, and stillness were not symbolic. They were functional. A calm body does not escalate a situation. A steady breath interrupts emotional momentum. Control begins physically. Haruto focused on breath when tension appeared. He did not force calm, but he refused escalation. Shoulders relaxed deliberately. Jaw softened. The mind followed the body into stillness. This practice did not eliminate emotion, but it prevented emotion from commanding action. Chapter 7. Pressure reveals mastery. True discipline is revealed under pressure. Zen teachings emphasize that calm in isolation means little. Calm in disturbance is the test. Musashi wrote that the way is found in everyday things, not ideal conditions. The battlefield was simply the most honest environment. When Haruto faced conflict, he noticed something unexpected. By not reacting, situations often de-escalated on their own. Others revealed themselves more clearly when he did not interrupt with emotion. He did not win arguments. He avoided unnecessary battles. His energy remained intact. Chapter 8. The End of Inner Noise. Non-reaction is not suppression. Suppression stores emotion and turns it inward. Discipline releases emotion by refusing to dramatize it. When not fed by thought and narrative, feeling passes naturally. This was the Zen insight hidden inside warrior training. Haruto's inner noise diminished. Thoughts became fewer, slower, and less demanding. He did not feel numb, but precise. Decisions became simpler because fewer impulses competed for attention. What remained felt aligned, not forced. The samurai did not train to dominate others. They trained to dominate themselves. The discipline of not reacting is the discipline of reclaiming authority over one's inner world. It is not passive and it is not gentle. It is a daily refusal to surrender clarity to circumstance. Musashi did not promise peace. He promised freedom from distortion. When reaction ends, perception sharpens. When perception sharpens, action becomes inevitable. This is the quiet power of the warrior's mind, still in motion and ungoverned by the noise of the world.